You just saw me take on and handily defeat the new Porsche 911 Turbo by weaving through the crowded streets of Manhattan. So you know scooters can make awesome city vehicles. But what you might not know is that driving a scooter can also cost less than half as much as driving an automobile. And if you bought a scooter last year, you were eligible for a tax deduction of nearly $400. And you're saving the earth. You're really saving the earth. Joining us now with reaction to the race and a look at the state of Vespa parent company Piaggio is Vespa brand manager Kevin Andrews. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk about what they call Vespanomics, which is this argument that not only is it cheaper, but you have a reduced carbon footprint, and there are a number of benefits to owning a Vespa.
And it's more fun. And it's more fun,
obviously,
too.
It's more fun. What's the crux, though, of your marketing campaign? Really
looking at alternative transportation. We've been dependent in this country on oil for so long and finding ways to reduce it. In addition to that, the congestion in the cities. And as you found out through that experiment there, that there's no better way to cut through the city congestion than on a Vespa and do it efficiently. Very nice at the pump, too. A nice experience when you're pumping the gasoline.
All right, sounds like a good argument. Does it mean that you're selling a lot more Vespas? Because I know numbers came down a lot last year compared to 2008.
Yeah, I mean, we experienced what the rest of America is experiencing with the economy, so certainly our sales came down. In 2008, when the gas prices exploded, people got the message and really came to our product, and it was great. And then as the economy took a turn, they still didn't embrace it in the same way. They really looked at it for fuel economy, but when you look at the overall expense of owning a Vespa and operating and really transferring some of your mileage to a scooter, something more efficient, it makes more sense now than it did back when the gas prices were high, saving that amount of money, which a lot of Americans are looking to do. So the message is still very, very strong.
So, I got a number of viewer emails saying that one of the problems is that, at least here in New York, the city isn't friendly enough to people on two wheels. Why don't you take it to City Hall and make them put in two-wheeled parking? For instance, all over London, you've got scooter bays everywhere. You've got less congestion there, and a lot more people on scooters and motorcycles.
Yeah, I wish it was that easy. Back in 2006, our CEO, Paolo Timoni, in the New York Times took out an ad, an open letter to the U.S. mayors expressing just that, to embrace motor scooters as a viable form of transportation. And in fact, if just 10% of Americans would switch their mileage, a third of their miles, to scooters, it'd make a huge difference. And in fact, we're looking out forward. Paolo wrote that letter in 2006. If you look out to the year 2020, we've taken a look forward now, what the difference would mean. By that calculation, 10% of the owners or 10% of the drivers switching a third of their miles to scooters, the savings would be upwards of $13 billion a year.
I actually have a question. Is there a fear factor? I mean, who do you find your buyer? Are they people who drive motorcycles? Is it hard to come off the street and start driving a scooter?
It's not hard. It's mixed. Scooters, especially Vespa, a very friendly product. People look at them, they smile, they want to get on them, and they are very, for the most part, very easy to ride. We do recommend formal training. You typically have to get your motorcycle license in almost every state in order to ride them. But they are very easy to ride. They're twist and go, automatic transmission. That means they're typically lighter, very easy to get around, nimble, easy to move in and out, easy to park.
But what do you do to get it, beyond the part where people just kind of come in to look and say, wow, they're really cute, all the looky-loos, if you will, to people who really are serious about buying? How do you kind of get it over that hump?
Well, really, if you get on it, as you will have experience, once you get in and start riding, it is fun, and that's really the thing. If you get them on them, they really find that it's a great way to transport themselves. Also, word of mouth. People that ride them like to tell their friends about it, and it kind of explodes from there.
Like Matt.
It's been a great advertisement for you guys.
It's interesting because you've had the recession, which people obviously pulled back on discretionary spending, but then you have the Obama administration here. They're pushing green jobs, and Paolo Timoni, the CEO, was telling me that he thinks 100,000 manufacturing jobs could be added here. There's a new export manufacturing push. If only you'd get city help in building scooter parking and encouraging scooter ridership.
Right. In Vespanomics 2020, again, what we're looking out towards year 2020, if 10% of Americans would embrace this concept, there would be jobs. We'd estimate that the annual sales volume in the U.S. would be about 2.4 million. With half of that, typically in the auto industry, half the cars are domestic, half are imports. If we were to have an industry here, they would start to build here. We would start to build here. And then you'd start to be creating jobs. You'd have additional sales jobs.
We got to run. Kevin, thank you so much. We had a lot of fun, everybody. Have a great weekend.